Welcome to Jump Shots from the Goal Line. I'm your host, Jonathan Dugan, joined as always by my wonderful co host, John Henningsen. We're going to go ahead and go live on the IG as well. There we go. Hit and go live now. So we'll see if any of you degenerates actually watch on that platform. Who knows? This is something new. I don't freaking know what I'm
Hop
doing.
on in.
Yeah. So, Henny, big week for you, bud.
We did it, man.
You made it. You the big
We
2-1,
we
dude.
we
21. You can finally get a legal beer.
we did. Oh, is that what you're talking about? I thought we were
Yeah.
talking about firing Tom Telesco, dude. I was so stoked.
Best birthday
Um,
present ever, potentially.
Say that again.
Best birthday present ever, potentially.
I mean, it's possible, right? I mean, we still have a bad owner, so it's
True.
highly likely that none of this is fruitful at all
Yeah.
or life changing in any way imaginable. But certainly, a boy can dream that after 10 years and three terrible coaches and an unlimited amount or an uncountable amount of mistakes, draft, cap, or otherwise.
Yep.
Yeah, the Chargers get to move on from something else. But if I'm also 21 and I can legally have a beer, correct?
Now
Yeah,
you can cheers it, dude. Yeah, you
yeah.
can cheers to what was, you know?
Which yeah, I'm sure that I assume that like this all shows up really good on like a. I assume everybody's watching us on like a 75-inch screen TV, and they can clearly see that I'm nowhere near 21.
I
They're like,
mean,
nah,
you definitely don't look like what you're turning, though.
dead.
Yeah, you're not in
Yeah,
the ground. You're
yeah.
6 feet above, not 6 feet below. So there's that. That's always good. You know
It's a
what I
big win.
mean?
It's a
Yeah,
big win.
dude. So the big 4-0, how'd you celebrate? You do anything?
Yeah, so we went and just like I hung out with a bunch of old friends. They all memorialized me by roasting me with like terrible pictures over the years, dressing as those terrible pictures. Thankfully, I still have a few days until I hit the big 4-0, so that was just
Yep.
really a precursor to my impending death. But
You and Madeline.
um, yeah, but it was a good time, man. Always like good to see some friends. Nice of the girl to plan and pull some people from out of town for me and stuff. And I know you were celebrating your beautiful daughter's birthday,
Yeah.
which like of course we're going two different. Her life is so much more exciting and has so much more hope than mine. So I'm really excited for her. Um, but she's kind of like my Christmas baby sister of sorts.
Yeah, you're 10 times as old as her, but I think you're also, like on the same wavelength in terms of amount of fun you can have with both of you. I think that's the right way to say that.
She's a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's the best. You know I love her, but yeah, she is the best.
she can be. Let me tell you, dude, having a three-nager, not always fun. A four-nager here in a couple days, but life's journeys, bro. Life's journeys. So that's cool that Wayne Sheridan got to make an appearance this weekend. That's
For
awesome.
sure. For
You're gonna
sure.
be you gonna be hitting the links for your birthday here too?
I'm just like working like a regular guy, just a regular schmuck, just gonna show up for work and whatever. And then we got some time off after the holiday, which is nice, but just gonna grind it out like a regular guy. You know what I mean? Just man of the people stuff. I do kind of want to know because I know, and we don't have to jump into this, but I'm just kind of curious because I know you're like doing obviously your daughter's birthday party, but then
Yeah,
also, like I'm wearing it across the chest. I know it's across your heart. The
yeah.
game's going on at the same time. Like, how are you trying to like battle those worlds?
Dude. Well, I watched the whole first half, luckily, because so the birthday party started at 4, and then the game started at 2:30, I believe, right? So I did
Yeah,
get to watch us completely shit our pants in the first half. Um, Unfortunately, Peter Piper Pizza, not a real hot spot for Wi-Fi or anything like that. So didn't get to watch too much of the game in the second half. Turns
gotcha.
out I didn't really miss a lot except a bunch of white guys making threes, which hey, that's
Mhm.
Big Ten basketball, baby. So, didn't
Yeah,
miss out on a lot.
yeah. I mean, the cats were sleeping on them, so if you did, no big deal. I think we slept on them a little too much. It happens. It's okay. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm going to be fine. But I do appreciate you trying to battle from a Peter Piper. And if you're local, big ups to Peter Piper. I'll always be a Peter Piper guy. It's near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
You know, many a T-ball game or whatever you want to call it was followed by a Peter Piper run, and I mean, it's just the best, dude. I mean, locally it rocks. I mean, honestly, if you're from out of town and you come in, you're gonna hate it. I mean, it's literally terrible.
Mhm.
But it's my kind of terrible. I love that pizza. Without any judgment. It's real love.
It's a real like Valley/Tucson like thing I've noticed because when I came here from Yuma, which by the way, Yuma is just like creme de la creme of the pizza universe, as we all know, you know. Um, like I
Of course.
couldn't understand why people were like, "Oh my God, Peter Piper pizza," and I'm like, "Dude, this shit sucks. Like it tastes like cardboard."
Yeah,
But
it
let me
does.
tell you, I housed like 5 or 6 slices on Saturday,
Did
bro.
you? Hell yeah.
Yeah. Also, I bought 2 pitchers of beer thinking people were gonna drink. Turns out all my daughter's parents, like, kids' parents are, like, not they don't drink, so your boy just was 2 pitchers deep, you know, hey, didn't even notice that the Cats lost, so it was fine, you know?
I mean, that's kind of the way to go. I mean, as I went on and just kind of did other things and went off my life, it was a good day for it. You know what I mean? Like it's nice to have your daughter's birthday. It's nice for me to have other things and other things to distract you on a day where it doesn't go well for your cats. I mean, if your team's gonna lose, if that's gonna be the end result, be happy other life's distractions show up because that's when you get the unhealthy balance of this is all I had,
Yeah.
which I'm sure is what it sounds like plenty of time as I talk about my Chargers. But rest assured, people, every once in a while, a few people will gather to say hey.
Yeah, absolutely. Hesse did wanna let you know, he's in the chat right now, you're not exactly 6 feet above, so,
Oh no, that's yeah, that's
way to
actually
point that out, Hesse, we
a good burn
appreciate
and
you.
a very fun fact. If you think I look tall in this podcast, it's an illusion.
Yeah, somebody at work told me because obviously we do a lot of stuff on camera. They were like, "I had no idea that you were so tall," and I was like, "Really? What do I look like?" And she was like, "Just a regular dude." And then she sees me in real life, and I'm 6'5", 260, and she's like, "Jesus Christ!" So yeah, camera can be deceiving. Henny looks 7 foot. I look 5'10". So you know,
Be Would be interesting if they did kind of just have those like we're Tom and Jerry,
yeah, yeah.
right?
You
Like
got
I just have no idea.
you got to go to the live events, which we've only ever done one. So
Yeah, I can't believe you guys missed the live event.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But hey, dude, I know you kind of breezed over it a little bit, but it's a new day in LA and in San Diego. I'm still going to call it San Diego, right?
I
Tom
think it's fine.
Telesco,
Yeah.
after just 2 decades of treachery, it feels like, and just self sabotage, he's gone. Now, I know I asked you to write a obituary or like something, and you said you probably couldn't
Eulogize
do it.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, eulogize him. Did you prepare anything, or is it just gonna be off the top of the dome?
No, this is gonna be straight off the top.
Just like Telesco,
I've
dude.
I've just been living life. I'm like, there's no plans. I'm a classic Charger. I'm like, look, our guys have to have plans. I don't. Uh, Look, I mean, the reason I really don't even want to do this, I don't really have words for this guy anymore. Like, it's just like I have said all of these things a million times, and I feel like I've even said them into this microphone, right? And you guys have all listened to my complaints, and it probably came through as like Staley complaints a lot of the times. But I will tell you that while everybody has been dancing on Staley's grave, nothing has made me more happy than the firing of Tom Telesco. The best way I can really frame that for you is that, like, yes, I'm glad Staley is gone. And yes, I would have fired Staley, and Telesco, frankly, after the Jacksonville loss in the playoffs. And so this has been a long time coming. I'm sure I have, spoken about this in many, many, many words on this podcast in many ways, and probably mostly F words and otherwise. But the simple fact is, this guy has been a loser for a long time. I've watched him draft big wide receiver who can't catch after big wide receiver who can't catch, and with the crown jewel at this particular point being Quentin Johnston, though I will still reserve hope for the possibility that
He's raw,
someday,
dude. He's got
sure,
traits.
why not? Why not? Maybe he'll catch a ball someday or a cold, whatever. Like maybe he'll do it. But
Catch these hands.
I'm just so tired of it, man. And then he's leaving us in a bad situation. And someone's like, well, but like you guys are over the cap and I'm like, yeah, I know. But like the thing we know for sure is that over 10, 11 years now, Tom Telesco absolutely is not the cure. So we can happily move on. Crazily, by the way, Anthony Lynn is actually the best coach that he hired. And if you can recollect or remember back to what Anthony Lynn football was like, boy, I could regale you on again. If you want me to eulogize Anthony Lynn, but the end result is I'm so happy to be moving on, Dukin. It might be just new failures and it might be the same old shit. But at least
Dude,
I get to curse new names. At least I get to travel new seas. I'm just happy to be a loser in a different way. And I so look forward to the warm embrace of the Chargers suckdom in its new form.
let's be real though. You said you've been on the Fire Telesco bandwagon since the Jaguars loss. I know for a fact it's
Oh,
been
it's
longer
before
than
that.
that.
Yeah, way before that. Yeah.
That might have
That's what
been
I mean,
the
man.
final straw, but like
I just look. I mean, yes, I've been on this earth long enough to know Tom Telesco sucks, and you do not want him as your GM. And maybe
right.
it's a Spanos thing. Honestly, maybe Tom Telesco goes and wins somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe it actually goes further up, and we're just screwed forever. And there's a very real possibility of that. One thing I will say, I did frequently reference God Bless the Autumn Winds to no avail, which was really disappointing to my friends. If you don't know the NFL films, like The Autumn Wind is a pirate, bustling as he goes, and with like the whole thing where the Raiders come through and he comes with a sash and the man and he knocks. Go watch it; it's incredible.
Yeah,
And all I can
nobody
say
got
is
that.
thank you, Raiders. And if this is why I can't eulogize. I mean, you guys, I'm just going to be going over your head. I mean, I would have been too bright for you all, and I appreciate all of you dullards that are tuning in right now. Hesse, I'm talking to you, but you wouldn't have gotten it. So you know what I mean? Like, why eulogize and pontificate if you're not even going to understand the words? It's going to be far running deeper for me than it ever will for you. Autumn Wind is a pirate. There's my eulogy for the San Diego Chargers in my forever loserdom in this fandom that I've chosen.
So now that we're moving on from Staley, though, like who's up next? Who's going to be the next guy that catches an F bomb from John Henningsen? Are we bought into the fact that it could be Harbaugh? Could it be Belichick? Like who are we thinking?
I honestly like the idea of Harbaugh. I've always liked Harbaugh. He's just crazy
San
enough to
Diego
make it work.
guy.
Maybe it makes sense. Maybe he's just weird enough, right?
Yeah.
I think it takes a different guy to change something like this, and I think he's the kind of guy that can change a culture. I think that's been proven.
Mhm.
My fear with Belichick is he comes in, wants too much control. We've seen these guys towards the end. They ask for a lot of control. We've seen him as a GM. That's not great.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here and tell you that I absolutely don't want to see Belichick. Like that's kind of sounds crazy. Obviously that would be fine, but I would like some checks and balances, if you will, if that were to be again my dream scenario. My dream scenario, I would say Harbaugh 1A. Sure, if Belichick can somehow come over, but if we have to like trade picks, do this, that. I mean, I'm
By the
asking a
way,
lot here.
Hesse just sent the Autumn Winds video to the group chat. So thank you,
Thank,
Hesse.
thank you.
Yeah,
Tip of the cap.
we'll put that out on the X, the Twitter.
Yeah, I
So
wish I had it all memorized. I don't have it like quite like that though.
yeah, what would we do without Matthew Hesse? So
Live
no,
tweet
dude,
coming.
I agree with you. I think Belichick comes with a lot of baggage. I think Bill Belichick, the coach, I think his legacy is probably already a little tainted post Tom Brady. So I think it would fix your defensive woes because he's arguably the best defensive coach of all time. But I don't know if it helps Herbert that much, because who's he going to
Yeah.
bring with him? McDaniels? Like, I don't know, Harbaugh, like, he'd bring personality, and it would make that Ravens matchup even sweeter because honestly, that's probably one of my favorite matchups in the league is when the Chargers and the Ravens go at it. I think it's a pretty even matchup when you guys have adequate people at the front of the helm to keep going with this pirate lingo.
Yeah, I do. I mean, sure, we could be a good franchise.
We all know it's going to be some defensive coordinator that nobody knows, though. So,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, this is also like you asked me, and I'm like, do you want me to tell you what I want to happen, or what I think is going to happen? I think we're going to sign the cheapest guy on the block.
It is Dean Spanos, so like, comes with the name.
He put as much thought into the message going out to his fans as I did in eulogizing Tom Telesco, and for that I thank him.
Yeah, thank you for your service, Mr. Spanos.
Yeah,
so
you've done it again.
I know that you can move on now and you can feel free, and now you just don't give a rat's ass about the rest of the NFL season. You didn't care to the point that you didn't even watch the Raiders blowout. I texted you and you were like, I am living life, brother. There is no way I'm watching this shit show. The moment Herbert went down, so did John Henningsen.
That's correct. I stand with Herbert. That's my official stance. If I was going to give a team statement, I stand with Herbert. I do not support Easton Stick games. I will
You
not
do
be a part of
not
Easton Stick
negotiate
game.
with terrorists.
I absolutely do not. Yeah, man. I just knew I needed to check out for this was for me.
Mental health, dude.
I feel like the Cats need me right now. I think it's a
Mhm.
better allocation of my resources.
Yep.
I think the Suns still have a glimmer of hope, although they're trying to smother it with every waking moment.
Yep. We'll get to
But
that.
ultimately, I do. Yeah, we'll get there. But ultimately, yeah, I knew that was going to be bad. Again, I wanted to fire everybody 10,000 years ago. So for me to watch what I knew would be a sinking ship was not good for me. I did get plenty
No.
of text though, so thank you all for checking in, for letting me know.
My
I definitely
favorite
think
thing,
that's
by the way, is
a
sending
50-50
you
grab.
ambiguous text where it's just like "no way" or something, and you just respond with the the question mark.
Yeah.
Like, what would you even call that? Like reaction, you know?
Yeah, like it's like question mark reaction or whatever. But yeah, but you're right. Like the ambiguous, but like that's the thing is like, I'm getting 7 ambiguous texts. I'm definitely putting the clues together. But like from all directions, everybody's like, hey, like your team's getting curb stomped right now. Like
And you have
you want
Hesse
to
in the
say
group
something?
chat
And
just
I'm just like,
going, "Run
guys,
it up, set the record."
yeah, guys, I spent all summer climbing the Himalayas to be at peace for moments like this, and you can't touch me right now. You cannot touch me right now.
Yeah.
This was the moment we've all been waiting for. So I was just, again, really happy. Again, thank you to the Raiders. Shout out all Raider Nation. Thanks for really hammering in. And from like the Territorial Cup rivalry, at any given moment, either one of those teams can be the last nail that you need to sink your ship.
Yeah.
If we're gonna again stay on the pirate references, but like that's just what you need sometimes. You need a rival to be like, please, would you like? Apparently, we won't do it. Kill this guy.
Put
So
us out of our misery.
yeah, so shout out Raiders for hooking us up, and I'm sure we'll return the favor sometime.
Staley was your version of Old Yeller, and the Raiders were the shotgun. Like
That's yes, well said, well said.
sad story. We unfortunately the only difference between him and Old Yeller is nobody likes Staley, and I think plenty of people liked Old Yeller. So
Oh, dude, yeah, I mean, dog, dying dog movies, man. That's just why do we do this?
yeah, I struck a chord with Hesse. He said that was a little too dark. So hey,
Yeah.
welcome to Jump Shots from the Goal Line, where we euthanize or eulogize. So welcome to the show. Going on about the rest of the NFL weekend, I guess I'll talk about my team. Ravens are the best team in football. I'll say it right now. Not the 49ers. Definitely not the Eagles. That guy right there, he put him in the grave. All right. The Eagles are a sunken ship, just to keep on going with the thing we got going with the Pirates. But the Ravens, Jags coming in limping. I'll give them that, right? Had lost 2 in a row. Trevor Lawrence is still, I thought he was good until he fumbled the ball on just a 15-yard run.
I was curious.
I guess he's leading the NFL in fumbles. So as much as people want to talk about Lamar being a running back and this and that, you might want to check on Sunshine down there in Jacksonville. He likes to cough it up quite a bit. So Ravens defense was incredible. Kyle Hamilton might be the best safety in football. He is what you thought Derwin James was going to be. It's just subtle shot.
Yeah, I don't think it was subtle.
Yeah, not maybe as subtle as I would hope it to be, but Lamar Jackson is that dude. There were so many times he should have been on the ground, couldn't get him on the ground. He was incredible. And they ran for 250 yards. Now, granted, they did lose, their stud young running back, and that sucks. Tore his ACL. But when you got Lamar Jackson, it frees up the lanes quite a bit. So Gus Bus, let's start your engines, baby. And then Melvin Gordon, guess what? He got activated to the active roster. So if you thought your Chargers fandom was out, you're going to be watching these playoffs and being, hey, there's a little bit of San Diego right there, because Melvin Gordon's he's going to be getting some carries. So I hope you're ready.
Well, I hope you're ready then for Turnover City.
He has fumbled it once before. Well, on the Ravens.
I was going to say, I was like, Sunshine is not the only dude that fumbles in the list of guys you just mentioned.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm hoping for a real renaissance from somebody, a la like Isaiah Likely, because that guy, my God, he's a dog. Did you watch the game?
I did watch a healthy portion of your game. Yes.
Did you see the catch he made in double coverage?
Which catch?
The insane like double coverage, like Lamar
No.
scrambling to the right. You know, the video you can't tell because it's mirrored, but scrambling to the right, he's about to get freaking smoked. Dials it up like Uncle Rico. Homeboy jumps right up into the air, grabs it. We're in the red zone.
No, I
mean,
guess I missed that one somehow,
this cat is
which is
good.
crazy.
He's going
Yeah,
to be a
look,
very
send
good
me
tight
that one.
end. He's a good, yeah. I'm sure Hesse will.
Oh,
send it to
likely
us
on the
from
right
then.
side of the screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
exactly.
got that. Never mind. I thought you were talking about, yeah, I'm with you. Yep.
Yeah. So he's going to be
That was a
very
good
good.
catch.
Yeah, a little different than Mark Andrews. You know, a little bit more of an athlete. As Stavros Halkias likes to say, or as Ronnie likes to say, not as cerebral as Mark
Yeah.
Andrews. You know, but definitely an athlete.
Flacco.
So I think he's going to be very good, which was never going to be in a doubt because let's be real. Do you know where Isaiah Likely went to school?
Rutgers.
Come on, bud.
Iowa.
Think
I got
about all-time Henny college football teams.
Oh, Coastal.
He's a coastal guy. He's a Chanticleer, my dude. You knew it was going to
Chanticleer.
be good, you know? Yeah, he played on that freaking teal.
I mean, at least with my
turf.
top 3 guesses, there's like 150 college schools.
I mean, that's fair enough. We do like to pontificate on the college football from time to time.
Ben has me fixated on Rutgers, dude. I don't know why. Sorry.
He has me fixated on Troy for some reason this year. So I mean,
Yeah,
it could be
that's
worse,
what I mean.
you know?
I was like, you must be talking about Rutgers again.
Yeah, this is Jump Shots from the Goal Line 2022, where all we would talk about is Coastal Carolina. So
yeah,
he is a Chanticleer, very good. But yeah, dude, the rest of the team. I mean, this might be one of the best defenses, probably the best defense in the league this year, but one of the best in the last few years. I mean, they're averaging like 15 points a game, which is just insane. So I don't know, man. Big game this weekend against the Niners. Brock Purdy's number 1 in the MVP race. I contend that he's not even the MVP on his own team. Does a lot of the little short passes. Lets Debo go after it. Ayuk go after it. Maybe throw to the middle of the field and get Kittle involved. But it's going to be an interesting game, man. It is on Christmas. I did let my wife know that game was on Christmas, and she said, "Is that really what you want to do on Christmas?" And we'll see if I watch it.
I mean, let me just ask you: is that really what you want to do on Christmas?
It is what I want to do on Christmas.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure you are okay.
Now, my 8.5 month pregnant wife might have a difference of opinion. Now,
yeah,
and who's to say, really? Who's going to see who wins out that battle? You know. Now, I'm expected to cook all of Christmas dinner, so I would hope I earn some good karma that way, and I get to watch the game. But you know, if I don't have much to say on the next episode,
I mean, like you can have it on, right?
Well, let me put it this way. This last game, I had every intention of watching it on the big screen or on here, right? And she hit me with I haven't seen you all day, so I had to watch it on my phone and put myself on Do Not Disturb. So, you know, sometimes, what is this thing, like 8-inch screen? You know, sometimes that's okay. I got all of it that I needed to out of it, but it was tough for sure. So anybody actively listening, and you know my wife, please, you know, put in a good word for me.
Implore
her. Let Dugan watch probably the biggest game of the year.
Stop her on the streets and let her know we're concerned about the big fella.
Hit the polls for me, all right? I need all the help I can get. I told her flat out. So this is the biggest regular season game of the year so far, and it is probably right so far.
And then next week,
and let me tell you, I don't think it hit home the way I thought it would. You know, she.
I mean, it's only 3 hours.
Yeah,
it's a Titanic.
It's at 7:15, dude. She goes to bed at 8:30 anyway. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah, you just gotta record it and just stay up late, dude.
Do people still record games? Is that a thing? Do you do that?
I mean, I will record a game, and dude. If I feel like I need to watch the film, I'll watch the film.
Any big film guy, all right?
Yeah, if I need to get to the all 22 or the all 10, as it were, in an NBA or college basketball game, if I feel the rewatch is necessary, so I make sure my eyes aren't lying to me, yeah, I'll check back in.
Henny has watched every Quentin Johnson reception this season. Let me tell you, he's broken down the film, all three of them. He has just gone deep into it.
I'll tell you, I'll go full McShay on you. The guy is still explosive, just like as covered in the draft. The guy can get over the top,
Yeah.
big hands, big athlete, still can't catch a lick.
Yeah.
Gotta be able to catch.
Yeah. But the rest of the NFL weekend, I thought it was a pretty strong slate. Some upsets, right? Tonight, giant upset. Seahawks beat the Eagles. Drew Lock was just jamming out to some Jeezy and decided to throw a little TD action to win the game. Pete Carroll just does this, I feel like, every year. Well, he goes through 8 billion packs of gum. And the Eagles defense is awful. It's, they have Matt Patricia calling plays now, and just ask any Patriots fan how they feel about that guy. I don't know. You think the Seahawks can pull through and get to the Yoffs?
To the Yoffs. I mean, hey, sure. I have no idea who's going to really make it. Why? Sure. The Seahawks could make it. Do I think they're super impactful? I did like the vibes between Geno and Drew after he threw it, though. I will give some credit to Geno there. Just like they were actually having fun. I don't know if I take the Seahawks as a serious threat, whether they sneak in or not. I guess that's possible because a lot of very okay teams are going to get in, and I don't really know which ones. Nor do I think I really care. But but the Eagles, I mean, I guess what I would jump back to is you said, upset and surprise, but the Eagles are starting to turn a little sour here. And are you that surprised? I guess would be what I would ask you.
No, I think the fact that they have been as good as they have been this year is a little bit of an aberration, because if you think about it, history, shows that teams that make the Super Bowl have a rougher year the next year, right? We see the Chiefs; they're already going through it, right? Kadarius Toney is just the world's comedian, so they're already going through it. And now I think playing that much football, making those deep postseason runs takes a lot out of guys. They brought back mainly the same team. Maybe they're just getting tired. So I don't see them really being able to overtake teams like the 49ers. We've seen them play the Cowboys. That remind me, I don't think they won that game, right? I think the Cowboys won that. Yeah, the Cowboys won that game because they were in first place for a week. So they haven't played great against really good teams. And now they're kind of floundering against, teams that are just struggling to make the playoffs. If I was going to say that the Seahawks are like anybody I know, it's like Matt Hesse's fantasy team. They sneak in, maybe they do some work, but in the end, they just get beaten the first round anyway. And if that's the kind of team that the Eagles are losing to, should tell you everything you need to know.
I think I'm pretty sure, as first reported here, I don't even think Hesse's making the playoffs.
Well, he made it in my league, and he swiftly got out. So
okay, so yeah, he might be 0-2 now. But that's he never came on to claim to be a fantasy expert, nor can even really set a lineup. So it's not surprising, and that's not even a shot at his ability to, pick and choose guys. It's really that he has empty slots. You know what I mean? Kind of the basics.
He's one
you know
of
what I
those
mean?
guys,
Hate to see it. I hate to see it.
Yeah, that's a rough look, dude.
It is a rough look.
I mean,
but my guess is he never does that again, because now he's been publicly outed. But yeah, I just think I'm not really believing in the Eagles right now. Could they flip it? I mean, there's still I still can't for the life of me really understand. That's a great receiver room. DeAndre Swift running the ball really well. Hurts gives you some running game, and if he's just completing some passes, Goddard's a good tight end. They feel like they have so many pieces, and I know the defense gave up some points today, but it's 20. You definitely don't want to give that up, but it's just
Drew Lock though.
Yeah, it's a Drew Lock, and that is frustrating. But
look.
aren't you kind of also wanting more from the? I guess I want more from the Eagles across the board. If the way we were talking about them and the way we have talked about them for most of the year.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, playoffs can kind of cure all, too. We saw that with the Chiefs last year. They didn't look great, and then they got to the playoffs and made a hellacious run all the way to winning the whole thing over the Eagles. So never say never. But when I do look at just overall, the dominance of how they're winning. Like the 49ers are, I said the Ravens are the best team because I'm a homer, but like the 49ers look better than anybody. Like they're destroying teams. Like they absolutely walked all over, the Cardinals, which again, Cardinals not good team, arguably very, very bad team. But what did they win, dude? Like 40 something to 10 or something like that. I mean, looking at it right now, yeah, 45-29. So sorry, Cardinal fans. Let me give
Yeah,
you the
they had some Cardinals got a little bit of running game going, but it felt like a game where the Niners are sort of half interested sometimes, but we could still just score 44.
Yeah, I mean, that team is pretty gross. I was thinking about it today because I was just like, all right, well, how are they gonna get this win next week on Christmas? And I was like, holy shit, like Debo, he's gonna catch a screen, he can go off anytime. Ayuk can definitely take the top off of defense. Kittle's top 3 tight end in the league. And then without even thinking about, Purdy, you got McCaffrey. Ooh, best running back in the league. You know what I mean? You got the best left tackle in the league in Trent Williams. The defense is extremely nasty with Bosa. And now they have Chase Young. They've got Fred Warner. I mean, the list goes on. Like they got
They have
studs
dudes.
everywhere. And I guess that's just kind of what happens when you have an undrafted, well, not undrafted, but like the last pick in the draft at quarterback, and you can just build around him. And he actually ends up working out. This is what kind of goes into the conversation of, hey, do you pay a quarterback? Which both of our teams are going to find out very soon if that strategy works out. Now, I think both of us would go on record saying, hey, I'm very comfortable having Lamar Jackson. I'm very comfortable having Herbert. But you look at a team like the Niners that have just built an absolute wagon, and you're like, well, it's because they're not putting, $45 million a year into a quarterback. So who's to say who's right? But they look kind of like class above everybody else right now.
Yeah, and that's a long conversation if we ever want to get into it. I think it's something that I've always thought about. I always kind of like the idea of just building around. It
A
wasn't even
rookie
necessarily
scale
like the rookie
quarterback.
contract. It was like I just kind of always liked the idea of, what if you just burn these guys and let them run,
Mm-hmm.
and you just take dudes who can run. Like as soon as Reed came out, as soon as we saw the quarterback run game, like in a different way than we'd seen it in a long time, I was like, can you not just like bring the running back and bring the quarterback into the running game and like change the dynamics of what the salary cap structure means and the way
Mm-hmm.
you like look at a quarterback and value a quarterback. So it is really interesting, but at the end of the last 15 years, the results are what, all Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. So it's like,
Yeah.
as much as like I love the idea and it sounds really cool, I do think me and you will both still sit comfortably thinking like, hey, what the league ultimately tells us at the end of the year is that the story is the quarterback position, which is what makes Brock Purdy interesting. I think he's played really, really well, and I don't really see any reason to say that he's not uh, every bit as good as he's seeming to be based on result. And I think he's going to have a real conversation in the MVP race, even
Mm-hmm.
though his biggest, detriment to your point is just that it's a freaking loaded roster.
Yeah.
He just has so many good dudes on that team around him.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So I don't know. The NFL is like shaping up to, get to that interest point at least. I
Mm-hmm.
think I might be through that headache and
The
lulls
doldrums.
that I was
Yeah.
going through. And it's
Yep.
just me. If you had a different opinion out there and you've been enjoying it,
I
don't let
felt
me
it.
ruin your day. But
Yep. Yep.
it's getting a little rough for a minute. So it seems like it's picking up a little bit again, though.
Yep. I'll tell you this much: the Ravens want to beat the Jaguars without a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, so it can go definitely both ways.
Yeah,
But you know what? Your scouting has to be just immaculate, or you can pull a Seahawks and trade for a guy that maybe hasn't done well elsewhere, like a Geno. And who knows? Maybe we see that this offseason with like somebody like Justin Fields. Maybe a team like the Patriots or XYZ insert team here that doesn't have great quarterback play. Steelers maybe go out and trade for Justin Fields, get him on a decent enough contract that doesn't kill you, and you can turn a guy's career around and it pays off. There's a lot of ways you can cut this cake, is what we're basically
yeah,
saying. But traditionally, the one that works is kind of what most teams do. But we'll see what happens in the playoffs. It's going to be interesting because this time around, Purdy's healthy. They've already qualified. The Ravens have already qualified. I think they might be the only two teams that have qualified so far for the playoffs, but with that said, there's a lot of battles going on. The Let me find it. The Browns beat the Bears, so they're I think 9-7. Joe Flacco, just January Joe coming out. I mean, like I mentioned him before, Stavros Halkias. He went on PNT and talked about that it's so tough to watch Flacco put on that god awful uniform. And let me tell you, as a Ravens fan, it does hurt because just like how Stavy said, like
You're still emotional about it too?
it's just one of those things. I think it'd be different if you didn't win a Super Bowl. You know
Yeah,
what I
and
mean? Because
yeah.
the jokes wrote themselves, like the elite jokes and everything. Those are fun. But the guy did have like one of the best playoff runs of all time, like 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, incredible plays. Now, a lot of those were made by Anquan Bolden, who was insane in those playoffs. But yeah, dude, it definitely hurts. Like there's some good core memories there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get
So
that.
the thing that sucks too
It
is
just
like,
feels like it was 10 years ago or
yeah, I
1,000.
mean, it was 2012. It was, coming up on
Yeah,
12 years.
I guess.
But
Yeah.
you
Browns
know
are
what?
9-5, by the way, for those keeping track out there.
9-5. Yeah, I'm just killing
That's all right. I just wanted
these
to help us
stats right
out, like
now.
just to make sure we had it out there. It's all
Which,
good.
by the way,
We
the
can make up
Browns being
stats too.
9-5, like Kevin Stefanski, hats off to you. What a great
Mhm.
coaching job there, because they lost their starting running back. They lost the pervert. Incredible defense, though. Amari Cooper's been having a pretty good year. And now you got Joe Flacco playing actually pretty good ball. I think he threw 3 picks. So, I mean, the most Joe Flacco stat line ever, by the way, 374 yards, 2 tutties, but 3 picks. So, like everybody says, he's
No
either
doubt.
going to make a pass interference happen, an incredible throw that nobody else can make, or he's going to throw it the other way. So, it's just like watching old times. It just sucks that it's within the division. It's to little brother in Cleveland. But hey, they could make the playoffs. And who's to say if January Joe comes out, dude? I mean, I'll tell you this much. I don't want to see him in the playoffs. I don't want to see him.
Well, you definitely don't want to see him because I mean that's
No.
like literally a nightmare fuel.
Yeah, that's like seeing your ex-girlfriend dating a guy that is like 5'5", but she's happy. So it's tough scenes.
I was like, oh, God, we're really
Do you
attacking these short
do you
guys
feel
tonight.
attacked right now?
I mean, God, I mean, I mean,
You and
it
Chris
was.
win, dude.
I was
Just
like,
feeling
yeah, I
attacked
was
on the
like,
pod
the
right now.
shots are being fired tonight. It's
Yeah. Well, it goes without saying though. So they could make the playoffs. There's a few other teams. The Rams are fighting for their lives. They've been playing some good ball lately. They beat the Commanders. Bills are fighting for their lives right now. They beat the Cowboys soundly. I thought, by the way, hilarious to me that they beat the Cowboys. What's his name? James Cook goes for like 170 rushing yards, just the
might as well have been
game of his
1,000.
life.
Yeah, he looks so good.
And who got the game ball? The guy
Josh Allen.
The guy handing it off.
Yeah,
Got to
said he
protect
got
the
it.
brand, baby. You know what I mean? Hey, got to keep the big guy happy. So it's tough scenes out here, but
Josh Allen did look nice in that game, though. If you were watching that game at all, he
he's
still makes
good.
plays. Yeah, he makes plays. So for all of you who jumped off the Josh Allen train, shame on you.
Our most viral meme that we've ever made was a Josh Allen one, where we got a lot of vitriol, but also a lot of people that thought it was funny because that's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can still criticize Josh Allen, by the way, but
we don't think Josh Allen sucks on this podcast. I just want to make that clear. We don't think he sucks. He's definitely a top 5 quarterback. Makes some boneheaded plays, but you know what? You know who else did? Joe Flacco. So I love the guy. Joe Flacco. Texans won. Texans won without CJ Stroud. That was a huge win. I agree with JJ Watt. I think because they won that game, they get to keep the uniforms. They get to keep the Houston Oilers uniforms. Titans should not be able to keep those. There's no oil in Tennessee. I can confirm that. It's all in Texas. They will be the first people to tell you that they have oil. So I think they get to keep those jerseys. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm with that. I mean, I just think it's weird. It's just weird vibes. I mean, it's like wearing your ex-girlfriend's clothes of some 6'5" loser guy and she looks happy and it's just like,
Don't you even
what
start.
is the
You could have said like 6'7". I want a couple inches shorter than you.
yeah, I was
You
like, yeah,
know?
should have made you a 7-footer. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like the easiest way I could get back to it. But I do agree with you. Um, it is weird vibes though. I just think it's weird that, like, why would you wear them against the Texans? That just seems super petty.
Oh, it
Like,
was.
it's one thing if they wear them. When they do it against the Texans, it's clearly petty, right?
Oh, it was very much on purpose.
Like, it's
Absolutely.
very clear.
And then to
So
lose in them, like, come
yeah,
on.
then you losing them. So yeah, you got to give them up. They should at least have to play for them and pass them back and forth like a trophy in a rivalry game or something.
Well, number
Um,
one, those are like one of the coolest uniforms
they're
in
great
NFL
uniform.
history.
Great
And you're going to
uniform.
go out there and Derrick Henry's going to have 3 fantasy points. Don't ask me how I know that. It's you can't do that. All right. Come on, Will Levis. What are we doing here? All right. So you got to give them up. The last game I will highlight, Steelers lost. They're just the train is off the tracks in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that feels good to say, doesn't it?
Oh,
Broncos
God.
lost too. Doesn't that feel good?
Not as good as the
Mm.
Steelers, for reasons, but it turns out just firing Matt Canada is not going to fix the issues at hand. It turns out also, and James Zuluhosh, if you're watching this, Kenny Pickett does suck. He's not good. Weird, I know. Guy that went to Pitt, had one really cool moment in college football where he like fake slid and then gets drafted in the first round for it. Guy's not good. Turns out your hands can be too small, and he can't win games. So they might be out of the playoffs for the first time in like 15 years. So that's crazy.
Close.
Yeah. I always ask every Steelers fan. I know you're not a Steelers fan, far from it, but like, is this where it finally meets the breaking point with no, you're already saying no.
I feel like no. I just feel like this is not what the Steelers do. The Steelers just keep this guy forever.
They haven't done anything in like 10 years.
I don't know. Like, this is what they do. I don't really know what to say. This is what they do.
Yeah.
Did they fire Cowher?
No, he retired.
Yeah. I mean, would I maybe fire? Like, yeah, probably. But I also like really respect this kind of approach because generally speaking, they at least win a Super Bowl here and there. I mean, I know it's not perfect.
In a minute,
And we can
but
definitely criticize them plenty. And there's, and all of that. At the same time, I'm like, hey, when you go to the Steelers franchise, you know who the boss is. And I mean, I think that like does hold some weight. And that's why I think as much as you sometimes want to turn the cards with Harbaugh, I'm like, I don't know, man. There's a thing there that works and you guys win games. And it might not always shake out perfectly, but
yeah,
I think there is like something to that like foundational thing that exists. So part of me just thinks it's like kind of an institutionally good idea. And part of me just knows that the Steelers, this is how they operate. So I don't have any reason to believe they would fire him.
yeah, we'll see, dude. I mean, I think you're right. It's one of those questions that I asked just to like piss off Steeler fans.
You should ask because it's funny to ask. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I was like, good question. Good question.
It's interesting because I do have people that say, yeah, get him out of there. So I think it's probably very similar to how I feel about Harbaugh. Like if you ask me right now, Harbaugh's the guy. He's great. Keep it going, Harbs.
Yeah, he's back.
We're all the way back. But I think most weeks, like even against our game where you were criticizing the offense, I said, well, that's Harbaugh. Like he's not calling the plays, but he doesn't demand that they get changed. They're both very much players coaches, right? And Kyle Hamilton said as much after the game the other night. He said Harbaugh, is very structured, blah blah blah. It's a lot like Notre Dame, but he also like gives a lot of power to the players. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I think that's why he has had such longevity because his teams love him, not necessarily because he's a good coach. And I think you can say the same thing about Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair, and I think it makes a lot of sense. It's right. I mean, what you described sounds like a place that most people would want to work. To be honest with you,
I mean, you're not wrong.
like I mean, like you say it out loud, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have like a nice structure that I can show up into, that I can trust and rely upon, but then you also empower me to do what I do,
Yeah.
I think I might actually want to work there.
Yeah. Hey, I love my boss at work. You love my boss at work.
I do love your boss. Yeah.
She's a lot like John Harbaugh.
Great.
She's a
There you
Michigan
go.
gal herself. So,
There you go.
did we just, I think we just uncovered something here.
Hey, I like those Michigan folk.
Yeah, you certainly do. More so than some. So,
Yeah, it's more so than most.
yeah. So that's kind of how the NFL's turning out. I was going to talk about college football tonight, but I think really the only bowl games that have gone on are just like the gimmicky ones that nobody really cares about. We'll have more stuff on that. Most of the big games are happening post Christmas anyway, so tune in for that if you're looking for college football. Maybe we pull a Hail Mary and bring over, Benny Diamond Hands out from the grave. I don't know. I don't know what Ben's up to lately. All right, I do, but we're giving the guy a break. So, Ben, if you're listening, enjoy your break. I know you're not listening though, so fuck you. So we'll have more college football content post the holiday. But let's jump into the NBA real quick. The Suns, dude. You and I text about this a lot. And I text you, I text my buddy Adam, I text our buddy Griffin, just everybody that we know that's a Suns fan. And I've been ringing the alarm bells probably a little bit longer than some, right? I know that you were giving them the benefit of the doubt for a while. Hesse was. Most people I know are rational Suns fans. I have not been. I have noticed for some time that number one, the bench is terrible. It's not good. They have a real finishing problem. All right. They're like a guy that's had 7 or 8 beers at the end of the night, can't finish. All right. And they can't stay healthy. So right now, they're in the 10th seed. And it's so early, right? It's December 18th. A lot can change the next, 4 months. But the alarms are kind of going off, aren't they?
Oh, for sure. I mean, yes. But like, just to be clear for those people that are out there that are thinking like, why is Henny such a stable hand? When Dugan clearly has seen that there's been trouble. Well, Dugan also, after the a preseason game, announced as champions. So just to be clear, this guy rides the waves like a little higher, and some of us try to stay in here for our sanity, but only for our sanity.
Again. Yeah.
Good for you that you can, but good for you that you can, ride them and you still actually do feel here despite the waves that you will ride there. But yeah, man, I just want to see some heart, a little soul, a little something, a little bit of juice, and that's what is missing to me. I don't know. I still look at this roster and it certainly looks flawed. I mean, I do think, we could argue about whether it's a big or there's a larger wing that they need, or is it just like a stabilizing force like a point guard to help them ride it out? I mean, we could probably go in a bunch of different directions, and maybe these things will ultimately sort themselves out with Bradley Beal, and then these pieces start to make a lot more sense.
Ooh.
But dude, that is just no, exactly that noise. That is a lot to be thinking that you're banking on. And I do think it is getting harder and harder to pile the evidence to be oh, when this happened, this domino falls and this domino falls and everything's fine. Because you certainly would think with KD and Booker, that most nights that would be enough to just win most games in the NBA. And just very comfortably be sitting around even if they were just cruising right now to 6-7 seed consistently, I'm very comfortable with that. But that really isn't the case. They're kind of in that play-in spot already. And it feels like it's very tenuous that at any time, it can go 10 games in either direction. And it feels much more like the area in the direction which you were leaning in than it does the opposite.
Well, because, dude, even the one game that they had, the big three there, it didn't look good. They have moments. They have a couple plays where you're like, oh, here we go. Yeah, you can't stop that. Beal's wide open, whatever, right? But the moment the bench comes in, which by the way, isn't going to change anytime soon. Maybe
No.
a slight piece can come in. I don't know. A Malcolm Brogdon would be awesome, right? But we have nothing to trade at this point. The moment the bench comes in, shit hits the fan right away, right? They don't have The only good bench player they have is Eric Gordon, who also can't really stay healthy.
Who's
Grayson Allen,
also a starter.
yeah, by
Depending on the day. Yeah.
yeah. And then same thing with Grayson Allen, has to basically start, you know. He's been okay. But like the guys that we were thinking were going to be like decent bench pieces, Watanabe has not been good. Bates' job been awful. Not even really playing anymore, right? Bobo like is a gimmick, right? Goodwin has his moments, but he can't really score. Like it's just, dude, it's tough. And like I said, there's really no like end game in sight. Like it's just get healthy and hope for the best.
Yeah, I would say I will defend Goodwin and Grayson Allen's like effort, energy, and general know-how on the basketball court. Like those guys are at least basketball players,
Yeah.
NBA dudes that can be on the floor. Actually, Grayson Allen has actually really surprised me. He's been really solid. Uh, he's been fine. I mean, I like Goodwin from an effort standpoint, but he
Yeah.
definitely has limitations just as a player. It's not perfect. I mean, I think we knew that when he came over. I mean, I think his role has probably been a little more expansive than we had hoped, and or even if like he's fine, then like some of the other pieces have to be helpful. But none of the longer wings, including Nasir, to this
Yep.
point, have done anything enough to where it feels truly impactful, and you can feel hyper confident about anything that's happened there. And I think Nurk puts up a lot of numbers by default of the way they play coverages, and his numbers look really good. And I don't know that he's really any good at all. Like I don't know that it actually creates any gravity whatsoever. Everybody is absolutely happy to let Nurk do whatever he does in the middle of the floor, and it's fine. And it's like, go nuts, Nurk. Like, just like shoot your heart out, boo. Like you go crazy tonight, thing. It's it is.
He's still better than Aiton, though. You can't
I
argue that.
guess.
You
Like I
can't
don't even.
argue that, dude.
What do you mean? How can I? I mean, sure I can. We definitely. I'd really like. What are we looking at with Nurk that's like impacting winning basketball?
I mean, rebounding on a consistent basis, like giving a shit on a consistent basis, like even like as stupid as it sounds, but like setting an actual screen. Like I I don't, I'll say this, I don't miss Aiton at all. Do
I mean,
you?
that's fine. I'm not sitting here like worried about like missing Aiton or like I'm just telling you like nothing in the center position is plus plus either.
Yeah.
It's more of like it's fine. Like it's fine. I'm just telling you that it's fine. It's not considerably better or considerably worse. It's somewhere around par. We're less athletic. He's
Yeah.
a little bit
That's
more
for sure.
skilled, but they're just frankly they're just they and I'm not saying this is not a this is I didn't mean that to say that as a criticism of Nurk, but the reality is the coverages are going where they're going to the perimeter. They're allowing us to play that game inside, and it's Nurk playing with bad wings or having to push it back out to. It's just bad basketball, is what it is, and like they're very happy to let Nurk be a major facilitator and run a lot of offense through a guy who just should be a role player for this team. That's really what I'm trying to say.
Jalen
He's being
Brunson
asked
was
to do too much.
very happy to see Nurk bringing the ball up.
Weirdly though, sometimes I actually don't mind seeing Nurk bring the ball up because I'm like, I can't watch Devin Booker bring the ball up every single time if he's going to be gassed because he also has to play. I don't think he should be playing point guard.
No, this team, I think the experiment has been proven it is failed, right? Like
I think so.
we need some level of point guard. That's why I said like Malcolm Brogdon would be awesome. I was talking to
Yeah,
Adam this weekend about
agree.
it. It is very clear this team needs a facilitator. And it doesn't have to be a Chris Paul where he's getting 13 assists a night, whatever, right? Just somebody that, like you just said, will not allow Booker to get gassed by bringing the ball up all the time, putting him in the way of getting hurt, whatever. Allowing him to get to the spots that made him such a killer with Chris Paul. Like, get just get somebody that can play point guard. Adam was like, "Oh, Tyus Jones." Like, that's fine. Go
Yeah,
get
of course.
Tyus
Tyus
Jones.
Jones would be unbelievable for this
Yeah,
squad.
just like, and that's like maybe the one position that maybe they can trade for, because I'm sure that there's some stupid team that will take a Bol Bol, and a couple of second rounders and give us a point guard. But like, you and I did this at the beginning of the season, and it's even more so true. Who's out there? Like we just said, Tyus Jones, Malcolm
Yeah, it's not.
Brogdon. You're not getting Brogdon with the players that we have available. Tyus Jones, like maybe. I don't know who you get.
Yeah, I just don't know who's giving up. I don't know how it comes that, these things happen in the NBA, though. Like, we see it all the time with, like, I have no idea why this team gave up on this player and why he's here now. But, I mean, yeah, we're just hoping to. I mean, they need a point guard. That's, like, the one thing that jumps out to me the most. Like I said, we can, like, argue about some of the other things but if you were to pin me in a corner, as I always say on this show, or put a gun to my head, like it is 1,000%. I'm like, this team I would love to have this team have a point guard. Like,
what's Goran Dragic up to nowadays?
Yeah, like I just, yeah,
Jimmy Bledsoe. I think he's playing for the Shanghai Sharks. I mean, come on, come back on over, buddy.
Because there's times where our guys are gas and you just see them like kind of dribbling that ball across the time stripe at 16 seconds, which was my nightmare with Chris Paul. It was the reason I wanted Chris Paul out of here because I was like, we cannot continue to watch.
No.
You see when Booker gets to play at pace because he's taking that pass and transition from the point guard whose head is up, finding him attacking, that he's so dynamic, and we're losing that. So it's tough.
It's really tough. And I think that explains exactly why this team just falls apart in fourth quarters. Like they cannot close a game. And it's because number one, they're not healthy. So the level that Kevin Durant and Devin Booker have to play to is insane. So they're just both gassed at the end, probably not giving as much of a defensive effort.
Yep.
But then it just comes down to that too. It's just like poor roster construction. Like this is not working. All right. Like, can Booker facilitate? Yes. But it should be at an off ball like role where it's like it's not a like necessity for him to do it. It should be that like cherry on top of the sundae. Oh man, Booker made an incredible pass because two guys ran at him and he found Beal wide open in the corner. But then that also brings up a weird point, right? If they go get a point guard, are we just going to horny ball, like 3-guard lineups? Like, is that what we're doing?
What do you call it?
Horny ball, dude. Hornacek, baby. You know?
Just wanted to check. Make sure I got that right.
I know you've said it before.
I don't remember ever saying horny ball, but I mean, I might have. I'm not saying I did it. I'm not saying I did it.
One of my coolest memories was I met Jeff Hornacek on Coronado Island at that. You know that like marina, like crab house or whatever, like the really nice seafood place, like right there in Coronado. It's shaped like an octagon. I was standing in line, and next to me was a guy about my height, and I looked over, and it was freaking Jeff Hornacek. I was like, hey, all right. I did say hi to him. Very nice, cordial guy. This was post Suns. We had already fired him, so I didn't want to tell him I was a Suns fan.
It's horny for seafood, huh?
Yeah, dude. Horny getting his seafood. So
yeah,
you know,
I feel it. I love seafood too.
So, but big seafood guy.
Yeah. I do think that's it, though. I mean, I think they need a point guard, man. I mean, if I could boil it down to one thing, I mean, that would be but here we are. And why do we ever get excited as Suns fans? I have no idea. But I mean, it would be cool to see Bradley Beal play. I wonder what it's like.
Yeah, I'm sure it's cool. I mean, the one game where we had all three of them, I was very, very excited. I texted you and had you right away.
5 total minutes for the big three.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's really cool. But
that's like 2 quarters.
Yeah. Those are magical quarters.
Remember those times?
Yeah. Bradley Beal's made out of glass. I will say that. You know. Yeah. We knew that going into this though, didn't we? We kind of chose to gloss over a little bit, but
it was a risk. It was always a risk.
Yeah. I mean, what were we really going to get for Chris Paul? I mean, look at that guy. Look at the Warriors. You know, speaking of bad NBA,
having Chris Paul, as much as I'm saying having a point guard, like we know what the end result of that 2 would be, and it's also not good. So that's the thing is I don't even know that it would do anything drastically different. It does seem weird that we collected as many bad wings as we did to not have a point guard, you know, or like one more stab at the point guard position.
Not even one.
I mean, and it seems like a big stretch to expect a lot from Damian Lee running point when he comes back. I mean, Is Saban Lee really developing? I saw they added another two-way guy at the point guard position who I really don't know anything about. He's French.
Oh, Theo Maladon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching the clips because I'm like that. I'm down bad. I'm like, maybe this guy, show me a spark, baby.
I remember him on the Thunder because I was like, his last name sounds like a dinosaur.
Yeah, and apparently gave the Suns 30 one night. I mean, the Thunder lost by like 40 points, but you know, he was hanging in there. So yeah. So we'll see. But it has not been a fun start if you're a Suns fan.
Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, though, we're not the Warriors. So there's that, you know. Steph Curry, he is in hell. Chris Paul's
Officially
hurt. Also not good. Draymond Green is a psychopath. And Klay Thompson is cooked. So it's bad.
Klay Thompson is cooked. And Draymond is, dude, that guy is something else. He's really incredible.
Dude, he's dedicated to the bit. I'll give him that, you know?
Yeah, it's like, that's what I mean. He's really immersed himself in character.
Yeah, he very badly wants to be Dennis Rodman, like very badly.
I can't believe that he just still comes out and is like, dude, no one even cares if you did it on purpose at this point. We're all tired. Draymond, go to bed. Just go. We're tired, dude. Leave us alone.
His excuse was great, though.
Is it even funny to you? I'm like, I mean, it's like I'm more disgusted now. I'm like, just like, dude, get over yourself. Like, do something else. What is this?
Yeah. You know, it's bad when even my wife is like, oh my God, you see that Draymond guy hit somebody on the Suns? I'm like, oh my God, it's penetrated your world. Oh, yeah. We've reached critical mass. He needs to go. He needs to get the hell out of here.
He didn't hit Travis Kelce, did he? I'm like, no, babe, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, but dude, he's not even. Here's the thing, right? Like, and I've heard this on numerous shows, and I'm just gonna sound off on it as well. You can kind of tolerate his shenanigans when he's doing good things on the court. He's not even doing that anymore. He's just not good. Like, that Warriors team is, dude, 3 years past a rebuild that they should have done. The moment they won the championship, they should have been like, all right, let's blow it up. We got it. We shouldn't have got it, but we did. Time to blow it up.
I literally had that thought in my head minutes ago when we were talking about this Suns big three. I'm like, if somehow they can stitch this thing together and win a championship, I'd trade everybody immediately.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's win a championship and then like keep Devin Booker, trade every single thing else, and then just immediately, you know, the Sixers had it spot on. You know, like that. Just we'll never win anything. We'll just hope.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best sell in sports history.
Yep. Trust the process, you know.
Just trust the process, baby.
Yeah.
We're not even trying to win around here. We told you.
We're just throwing batteries.
We're just collecting draft picks, dude. This is awesome. This is what you wanted. And I'm like, I think that's what I want.
Yeah, the bad thing about it though is I don't see us really winning a championship with this roster specifically. That Warriors team still was getting a little bit of gas out of Klay. Draymond could still kind of D up for sure. They had some nice bench pieces and like Gary Payton and, you know, a few others. But this Suns team, they ain't got shit on the bench, dude. They are bad. It's crazy. And watching the Twins, by the way, the other night, Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges made me kind of think, did we make a mistake with the KD trade? Which I don't want to think that. I like KD a lot.
Yeah, I would also encourage you to remind yourself of this when the Nets get eliminated in the first round.
Yes, yeah, I know.
Like, you know, that's the thing. Like, it's not. I don't know what the right answer is. That's why I feel
it's the ex-girlfriend with the 5'5" guy again. I'm telling you, it's the same exact thing.
Just got it. I was like, keep fishing in that pond, Dugan, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
It really is, man. I'm sorry. All right, man. Well, I was gonna bring the live up, but yeah, you know, like all I'll say about the live, y'all, is we're still as confused as everybody else. Apparently, they're putting in billions of dollars, up to $7 billion, according to Henny. So I still don't think that's enough. Yeah, according to Henny.
I mean, honestly, I don't know who these reports are on anything that I'm seeing, anyways. And they've all been wrong. Like, no one's been right about anything in the golf reporting. So, golf reporters, get on it.
Yeah, but that's your tasty minute on golf. And with that, if you know, if you're going to be hitting the links with all your friends and family this Christmas, if you're in an area of the country that you can still do that, I recommend going and getting a nice little stocking stuffer of Tasties. They do have some really nice little packs. I don't know if Henny has them next to him like he did the last episode, but I mean, terrific way to just stock the stuff in there, and give away. Yeah, there they are. Look at those bad boys. How many have you opened those up yet? How many come in
Yeah,
a
these are
pack?
little 4-packs.
Little 4-pack, right? That's perfect for the one round that you have to play with your father-in-law a year.
Because these will hang in there. That's the thing. You can these are
Yeah.
kind of like the plastic ones where they'll have give, so you can get through
Yeah.
a round with these.
Yeah.
After you give your little chew, you get your flavor kick,
Yep.
you get your little boost, you hit your 500-yard drives. Is that what you hit with these? And
Yeah.
then after
Mhm.
that,
Yep. On
in the
average.
ground, and you're good for a round. They'll last you through a whole season.
Yeah, dude, and
Forced
like I
out.
was saying, you got to go hit the links with your crazy uncle, your father-in-law, whoever. Bring a little stocking stuffer of the Tasties. They got peppermint flavor, so you can keep it,
Seasonal.
Christmassy. Yeah, seasonal. And you can find them at tasty.com. Keep it tasty. Go hit the links. Henny always does. I want to get a game in before my daughter's here and feels like tomorrow. But yeah, go out and check them out. They got tons of really good flavors. Like Kenny said, they have a lot of good give. So, you can get through a whole round with even just the one little pack. But if you like them, hit the site up again and go get a whole thing of them. We know we love to use them. So go hit up our tasty boy. He'll hook it up. But with that said, y'all, we are coming to a close. I don't know if we'll have an episode next Monday, considering it's Christmas, and my wife's already giving me the side eye for wanting to watch the Ravens game. I also wouldn't want to pull Henny away from his lovely wife on Christmas, so maybe you tune in for the New Year's episode. Well, maybe, I don't know. We might be taking a couple week hiatus. Don't be surprised, right? Tis the season. But with that, guys, we'll probably have some content out there, whether it's a meme, whether it's me just putting my stupid face on TikTok and discussing the bowl matchups, whatever. So make sure you guys are following us along on social media. We're on Twitter. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Maybe you're watching us here on Instagram right now. Go ahead and give us a follow. We put out some pretty quality content, if I do say so myself. Click that subscribe button on YouTube or on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. And when you're meeting with your friends and family this holiday, go ahead and let them know, hey, have you guys heard of Jump Shots from the Goal Line? Super funny podcast I listen to every single week. We would greatly appreciate that. And the only thing that we want under archery is a nice 5-star review from you guys. Helps us reach a wider audience. So with that, that's all I got to say. Henny, you got any closing words?
No, just thanks for joining us. Happy holidays. If we don't see everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. To be continued. We'll see. I don't know, but
yeah,
and
and
just want to
RIP
put it
Tom
out there
Telesco
in the world, right?
Yep. RIP Tom.